Here we are. We are going live. All right. We're welcome, Renee Zukin, my dear friend, amazing author, owner of Rebel Writers, coach extraordinaire. Welcome.
Yay. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so happy to have you here. Renee and I met in the Women Rocking Business Universe, the mentorship that we are both in. And now Renee is actually one of their top level coaches. And we've had so much fun together. Renee has taught in the academy. She has taught in the Crown. She recently came in and did a full audit for the Crown Sisters. So that was it was so much fun
So much
working
fun.
with you like that. So Renee, tell us more. Tell us all about you.
Tell us more. Well, I am so excited to be here. I was just noticing that I didn't see live stream flickering at me. So I
Oh, is it
wanted to
not
make
working? Okay.
I wanted to make sure we were there.
Yes.
So
Okay.
let us know if we're there.
Okay. Let's
I
see. Keep
am
telling us all about you, and then I will work on this.
okay. All about me. Yeah. Well, you said it well. One of the things that I absolutely love is to help other women get their messages out in the world. So I'm a writer by trade. I'm a business coach and a former teacher, and I've been helping people really find their unique voice and then be able to share it. Right. And it's so important, especially for us entrepreneurs and those of us writing, wanting to put our message out in the world through our businesses, through our books, through our podcasts, right? That we are able to do so in a way that other people can hear and understand what we're saying.
Yes.
Right. So that's what I feel like is really the core of my work, is helping you figure out what that clear message is, and then how I can best support others in getting it out there.
Yeah. Oh, I just love what you just said. I think, all of us have a book in us, right? All of us has so much to say. Some of us are just not as talented as you in pulling it out of ourselves. I know there's a book living in me, and
Mm.
I'm terrified to even I'm just going to sit at a blank page. How do I even begin? It
Yeah.
feels so daunting. Like I can write an email, I can write curriculum. I can write like a short story about myself. I can write a speech or a talk, right?
Sure.
But book is a monster that it feels like I'm scared of. What would you say to someone like me?
Yeah. Well, first of all, you're not alone. Writing a book is a huge task. And even, coaches need coaches. I may be in the finishing stages of my full-length memoir, but I didn't do it alone either. And, so one of the things that is really necessary with any big undertaking, whether it's your business or a book or, a new course you're building, is to really have that support and somebody else to bounce your ideas off of, who can really help you like take the step by step. Right. So I do have a transformational book program that I run. It's amazing. So many entrepreneurs, especially, have a transformational message, right? This is why you're doing this work. So for you, Aisha, when you're ready to write your book, we can sit down, we can just, kind of hash out the big ideas, and then I would just take you through step by step, right? So you're not looking at the whole thing all at once and like, oh my gosh, I have to do this big, it's like a big project in the school, right? That we had to do. It just it's so
Yeah.
big.
Yeah, I guess if you can break it down into bite-sized pieces like that, it feels more beautiful,
Yes. Yeah,
right? Yeah, I
exactly.
mean, to confess a little bit, ladies, I started doing something in the effort to maybe do this. So my book would be more about my journey with my son, right?
Mhm.
And so I've
Mhm.
started writing him letters like Dear Arrow. I've been sending them to an email address that this is for him to one day maybe get to read, right? It's a secret that he doesn't know about, so that he can understand my journey as his mother. There's some apologies in there. There's like some confessions in there. It's almost like my own version of a diary. but I'm
Yeah.
writing it to him and I'm just kind of leaving it over there. I'm not looking at it. I'm not editing. I'm just like, but, and for me with my ADHD, I can't like sit down and so I'm voice to texting this too. I feel like maybe
Fantastic.
one
Yeah.
day I could like put all this together. What do you think of that?
Oh my God. Well, first of all, I'm kind of crying because it's the sweetest thing ever. And I love that you aren't doing the editing and this should be perfect, because that is absolutely
Mm.
the first thing we have to do is just get it out. And
Yeah,
I have people who come to me, they, with stacks of journals, or like, well, I've got all these sticky notes that I've placed, everybody has a process. There's a totally unique process. And what I love to do is help people then, you know, once those things are kind of out, to gather, like we do, a lot of gathering at the beginning of things. Well, what do you have and what's missing and what do you want to be saying and how? So to no surprise, you're doing exactly what you should be doing if you want to someday
right.
write it, because it exists, right? It doesn't matter where it exists, whether, the
Yeah,
emails, the random Google Docs, the notes app on your phone, like just
right.
get it out first. Just get it out there. Yeah.
Getting the madness out. I mean, I feel like it's something that is just brewing inside of me. Maybe, that's how this is supposed to feel.
Yep.
But it
Yep.
just feels so
Just like
scary, you know?
it doesn't stop tapping you.
Yeah. What would you say? I mean, say you like write this whole book, right? Then what do you do? How do you even do you take people through that process as well? Like how to get published? That all feels really daunting too in an ever-changing landscape, right?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And there are so many different ways to publish. So I don't take them through the publishing process itself. Like I don't do the editing and whatever, but I do teach about the publishing process and different levels. Anybody, we can, thankfully, we have tools. We can very inexpensively and quickly publish a book. Amazon has things. If you can get an ISBN number and an EPUB, document made, there you go. You got an ebook. Like, so there's from all the
Yeah.
way, from that. And then there's like a myriad different levels of support. And then there's hybrid publishing, which takes, the self-publishing, but you get some support with editors and distribution. And again, even that has like various levels. And then of course there's the traditional publishing route where you secure an agent and they, go push your manuscript, and different levels of money involved, different ways the money flows, like so many. And it is daunting, but what I really love to take my clients through is what's their big vision for the book. Where do they want to start with it? Like, is the goal to just get it done and out there and in the hands of, the 100 people they know and love? Great. Some really great options for that. Is it, international, worldwide, bestseller on all the lists? Well, that's a little different. So, yeah, but anything
Right,
is.
but to that note though, right? Even if you I have seen women because Renee and I are in the universe of we support coaches, we support women in business. So we've seen it all. And what I've seen is that even if you don't have a bestseller, even if you aren't like some international, published author, your book can still be used very much as a lead magnet tool, as a way to get people into your orbit, to, then maybe convert them into a sale, a client, right? It's a way to build connection. So you don't have to have that huge goal. I mean, yes, do we all want to be some famous published person? Maybe, right? But it doesn't have to look like that to have
Right.
it be an effective tool for marketing yourself,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, the books themselves aren't the thing that are making us the money.
Right.
They give us credibility, right? They tell the story. They allow people, a way to kind of meet us first sometimes, but just like you said, Aisha, using it, and especially if we're talking about a simple ebook, right? If you've got a strategy and that you use, or a signature, program that you can outline in a 25-page ebook, on the high level, ooh, that's going to be good for you as a lead magnet, because people are going to read that, but they can't really do the work on their own. So they'll
Right.
take next steps with you.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I just think it's so important to have our stories told, especially as women. This is something that even if, that's why I just want to do this, right? I want to do this because if it even inspires one person, if I can help anybody just with like what I've overcome, then I want to put this out there. I think we all have a longing to leave legacy, even if we don't talk about it, like we want to feel like what we are here for actually mattered, that
Mm.
like whatever we did had some effect, right? So I think it's such a beautiful way to do that by storytelling, and it's just so important. And it's amazing for marketing. People want to hear your story. They don't want to hear something boring anymore. They don't want to hear all your accolades. They want to hear like the dirt you swam in, the mud you were like drowning in, they want to know that, I feel like.
Right. Because
Yeah.
it's real, right? Like every human on this planet is struggling or has struggled with something, right? And as we transform, as we evolve, as we, learn the way, there's people behind us that we can support to take the steps that we took in order to get where we are. And there's people, in front of us who are doing the same for us. So it's like this continuum. And absolutely, like they want to know, people are done with the like you said, it's like nobody cares about your title anymore.
We don't
It's
want the polish.
it's not.
Give me
Thank
the
you, but that's
tarnished
not it.
version.
Right. That's not it. Right. But yeah, but knowing, and not that we're gonna like tear open all our deep dark secrets and put them out in the world. You have, only things that you want to share are things that should be told out there. But something about, when you speak to that pull of I really want to leave a legacy, and what I'm hearing is my story matters, not just because of what I went through, but because of how it can help other people. And that's 100% true for every single one of you, because what you have gone through does matter. And somebody else is looking to find the way through, and you did. So, yeah.
I love this potent talk. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling all the emotions of this, all the multi-layeredness of us all, right? The humanness. It's just
Yeah.
Renee and I just got done supporting, I mean, with the last quarter of this year, we have literally supported over 30,000 women.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know about you, but I am feeling the rawness of it all, right? We're at the tail end of like helping women find their dreams and go for it and say yes to themselves, and it's an honor and a privilege, and it's so much for us to hold too,
Mhm.
right? It's like
Mhm.
all of our own stuff has been coming into play, it just speaks volumes to the human condition of us all. But what
Yes.
I love is how many women are rising right now, and how much all of them, all the women that I've been speaking to, they want to help others. Like,
Yeah.
it's not about money even for them. It's not about like how much success they can have. It's like, I want to make a bigger impact. I
Yeah.
want to, change the world. I want to help people. And I'm seeing this everywhere with women, and it's just so incredible. And being able to write this out is one of the, amazing things that we get to do. And
Mhm.
someone like you gets to help women do that. So tell us how we could work with you. How can we find you? What are your offerings? How do we get our hands on the Renee? Mhm.
Love this. Well, one of the quickest and easiest ways to be in the orbit that is Rebel Writers is to join our Facebook group. That's, yeah, a real quick and easy way. We're in there pretty regularly, doing some stuff. But for those of you who have something that you're working on, or you're getting stuck on your marketing, or you really just need a space to show up and write, because sometimes that in and of itself is the absolute hardest thing to do, is to just sit down and do the thing. Any of you feeling me? Yep. So, so a couple years ago, I created the Rebel Writers membership community, and we have 2 writers rooms a week where we meet on Zoom It's such a beautiful container. And no lie, right? We create the things we need. So I needed a place where I had to show up and write. And that's what helped me write my book. And so and I invited other people, show up and write with me, because if you're here, I got to sit here. I can't get up from my desk, right? And it's just turned into such an amazing space. That membership portal is like a dream come true. There are women in there who are, at all different levels of entrepreneurship. They're at all different levels of self-discovery. We've got women who come in and they sit and they use that time to journal. We have women who come in and they use it to write their newsletters, and others working on their books. So everybody's working on different things. But we all come together with that intention of being able to express ourselves and having a really safe, beautiful place to do so. What
a gift that you've given others and yourself. Like, this is beautiful. It's so beautiful that they can just show up and just like express themselves. I love, is this a free offering that you're doing?
The membership is not free, but it's low cost. Yeah. It's only, but you can try it out for 2 weeks. Yeah.
Oh,
so yeah. So if you you can, I don't know if you have the link.
I just dropped the link to your group here.
Fantastic.
And so in the Facebook, and then we will be sending another email out with all the information so that they can join. Awesome. I think giving that as a 2-week option is amazing, and it's worth it to go have a place to do this in. I have a similar offering, right? This is our Fempire Fridays, where we do a co-working date. Women can just come and do whatever they need to do in there, but the concept is almost like, body doubling in a way, right? It's I get way more done in like a loud, busy coffee shop where like there's nothing else bothering me than I do at my home, where I'm like, Tria, I'm just gonna
100%. Yeah.
Just take myself out of the game on any little minute thing that's calling my name, but if I sit in my Vampire Fridays, I am there and I'm working. Everyone else is too. So I love this. It's really helpful for people who are neurodivergent too. Like with my ADHD, body doubling has become very crucial for me to actually get things executed. So I love that you're doing this. And then tell me a little bit more about your program as well.
So the transformational book program, will have another intake soon, but that it's a 9-month program that takes women through the first steps of creating their draft manuscript. So it's pretty incredible. I have a beautiful group right now running, and watching the evolution of their stories and being able to support people. Not all of us were English majors. Not all of us really love to write, and I love that you're using the text. I have lots of clients who use the text to speech or speech to text, right? And even Google has something on there. So because it doesn't matter how you end up doing it, it's just that you do it, right? And so technology really can be our friend in this. But within 9 months you get a lot closer to having a real draft of your book, and to be able to look at that is just, it's amazing.
Wow. So are you kind of reviewing their chapters? Like, how does it actually work?
It's really more, there's training. We take a deeper dive on how, as these are transformational books, they're really kind of memoir-esque or prescriptive memoirs. It's a teaching memoir. So there is a lot of story elements. So I teach about characterization. I teach about the, I call it the hero's journey, not just the hero's journey, right? But the specific, literary elements that go into writing a really good story. So we do a lot of work with that. We have workshop times where people are, reviewing and getting feedback on their things as they go. It's just a really supportive and fun container.
I need to join your program. I do.
I'll put you on my list. I'll put you on my wait list.
Yeah, your wait list. Yeah, I love what you're saying, because that's really that's exactly where I want to come from. This is a story to be told, but it is it is like a teaching thing because I had to there was so many lessons along the way, my God,
Yes.
and I think where I get a little stuck is that the story's still being written in a way, my son's only 10. How do you like, do I have to wait till he's
No,
like 18?
no, you don't.
Like the
Right.
stories I
Yeah.
tell myself to
Yeah.
stop
Yeah.
myself,
Yeah.
that's what's coming up. Like, well, it's not time, and it's
Right.
not over, and I don't
Well,
have time.
nothing with memoir, right? Unless you have passed on, which in that case it's a biography and not a memoir. Uh, right? Life does continue. And
Yeah.
so one of the things we do on the front end is really hone in on what is the message of my book, right? Similar to what we do with our businesses. What is that overall message that I want to tell with this book? And what is the timeline within which that message belongs? It's not going to be your son's entire life. It's not going to be until he's, technically, legally an adult. So just like, my story, so I'm writing about my experience with OCD and anxiety. Is it gone? No. Right.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
the things, but I've gotten, but the journey that I went on to get where I am today is the, the I'm just doing this, right? Like that's the cycle. That's the narrative arc of the story that then continues, right? Like when you say to be continued, right? Life still
Yeah.
goes on, but here's the moment at which this impactful message, right? My book is called Every Day I'm Brave, right?
Oh,
That it's not.
oh, I love that. I'm gonna cry. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's not a one and done, right?
Yeah.
I'm not cured. And, people don't just get rid of the things that they're struggling with. They come up at different turns at different levels. But we have the ability to, get some tools, get some support, do the work to continue to show up and create a life we love despite, right? So
Uh, Renee, you're going to help so many people with this book. So many of us are walking around with anxiety. I have high functioning anxiety. I have it all. I have all the things.
this
And
is why
somehow we're still
this is
showing
why
up.
we're friends, Aisha.
That's right. Oh, I'm just so proud of you. And I'm seriously, like, just in this talk, you have already helped me shift like 5 things in my brain. Just you're so powerful, and everything you're doing is so potent. And anybody that gets to work with you is so lucky. So, and I'm just so grateful to call you a dear sister. I can't wait to hug you in person one day. It's so weird that we've never met in person, right? I feel so close to you.
Coming soon. I might just
Oh,
have to fly out there.
yes, just come to California. That's right. Oh my God. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this amazing work in the world for all these women. Thank you, ladies, for showing up here today and joining us on Zoom and on Facebook. And I've dropped Renee's group here in the chat on Zoom and in Facebook. We'll also be sending out an email. So join the writer's room. I'm going to get myself in there. I'm going to sample this thing for the 2 weeks. I'm doing this. Let's
Yeah,
do this.
awesome. Well, and I'll make sure to put that particular, like the link to the writer's room for more information and stuff too. I think you
Perfect. Yes.
also have that. But I'll drop that in the
Perfect.
in all the places.
I love you. I love you. Thank you, ladies.